Okay, great. So, welcome everyone. FYI, this is being recorded. So, if you have colleagues or friends who are not able to make it, this will live on our website. And yeah, good morning. My name is Quinn, and I'm a resource specialist with Metropolitan. Today, I'm joined here with Teresa and Carrie from our external affairs team, and Priscilla and Elise from our water efficiency team, as well as Elizabeth from SoCal Gas. And we're here today to talk about Metropolitan's grant program, the Innovative Conservation Program. This program's been running since 2000, so it's actually our 25th anniversary this year. And the objective of the program is to evaluate the water savings potential of water savings devices, technologies, and strategies in a real world setting that are applicable to water conservation challenges in Southern California. And funding is available for small businesses, municipalities, nonprofits, and universities. So here's a brief agenda of what we'll cover today. Introduction and welcome to ICP, Metropolitan, and SoCal Gas, the application process and timeline, the evaluation criteria. We have a past recipient joining us to give us some insight, and then we will have time at the end for Q&A. So the application is now live. It went live last week on the 18th. And in partnership with SoCal Gas, we have $275,000 of competitive grant money to go out this year. Up to $50,000 is awarded per proposal. The application deadline is April 30th at 1 p.m. And if you have any sort of application-related time-sensitive questions, I ask that you try to get them in 24 hours before that deadline so that we're able to troubleshoot if necessary. And we anticipate announcing the awardees by the end of May, early June. And all the application materials and information can be found at mwdh2o.com/ICP. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Elise Goldman, who's going to give us a little overview of MET and a little history of ICP.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elise Goldman. I'm the Water Efficiency Team Manager here at Metropolitan. I'm really excited. As Quinn mentioned, this is the 25th year, not the 25th cycle. I think we're at 9 or 10. This might be our 9th cycle of putting out the Innovative Conservation Program. So we're really excited to be doing that again in partnership with SoCal Gas. For those of you who aren't aware, Metropolitan is a large water wholesaler. I think we're the largest water wholesaler in the United States. We cover from the Ventura County down to the border with Mexico, south of San Diego there. We are made up of our 26 member agencies that you can see on this map in different colors. Those 26 agencies are our customers, and then they in turn either sell to retail agencies or directly to the consumers. Our service area is quite large. We cover 5,200 square miles and 19 million customers in 6 counties. The issues that we face in Southern California in terms of water supply and water efficiency can range anywhere from outdoor water efficiency to indoor industrial type water efficiency, large applications, small applications with large market impact. So those are the types of things that we're looking for. You do not need to be in our service area to apply for this grant. However, your project, your technology, or strategy should address common water issues in Southern California. And with that, I'll turn it over to Elizabeth, who's going to talk about SoCal Gas.
Thanks, Elise. Hi, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Medrano. I am a Sustainable Products Advisor here at SoCal Gas. We're excited to be partnering with MET again on this program. It's a fantastic program that can do a lot of good for all of our communities. So I'm really looking forward to seeing all the applicants. A little bit of an overview on SoCal Gas. We are largest. Well, actually, I was confirming this data point, and depending on the metrics, sometimes we are the second largest, but largest natural gas distribution utility in the United States. We serve over 21.6 million customers, and our territory is throughout Central California, all the way down to the border of Mexico. We are a subsidiary of Sempra Energy, and we are focused on distributing natural gas in the most energy and efficient and safe way to all of our customers. So yeah, we are excited to be partnering with Metropolitan on this, and excited to see all the applicants.
Awesome. Thanks, Elizabeth. So now we'll go over the application process and timeline. So here are some important dates to flag. Here we are at the applicant webinar. Again, thanks so much everyone for joining us. Applications again are due at the end of April 30th at 1 p.m. We anticipate the decisions to come out end of May, early June. And then the project period is going to be from July 2025 to June 2026. This is the sort of newly revised application website. All the application materials can be found here. Again, mwdh2o.com/ICP. Hopefully some of you landed here to register for the webinar. But here you'll find the RFP and the terms and conditions for the ICP, as well as the online application. So that's a change from this year. If you're familiar with past iterations, it used to be a PDF application. This time it's all online, which is hopefully going to be easier for you all. And then there are also FAQs that you can find here and reports from projects in 2020 and 2022, which might help you sort of get a better idea of things that we've funded in the past and help you shape your application. So now I'll talk about the 2025 evaluation criteria. There are 6 categories for a total of 100 points. The project description category, 15 points, 350 word maximum. That is a sort of new feature of the online application, is that there are hard cutoffs with the word maximums. So please be aware of that when you're drafting and writing your applications. So here we're looking for a concise summary that's going to include an overall description of the project and clearly convey the project's goals, objectives, and strategies. The research plan for 15 points, 400 word maximum. We are looking here for a clearly stated research question, and earlier in the application, there's an area where you can kind of outline your activities and milestones. And so we're looking here to for elaboration on those activities and milestones, and then inclusion of any background work that's been completed thus far that's relevant to achieving those tasks. And we recognize that not everyone has maybe had the opportunity to create a research plan like this. So this is just kind of a general recommendation on the process. And this information gathered during this research plan is really going to be relevant to all the categories of the application. So we recommend starting with a literature review. That's going to be really important to see what research has already been done that's relevant to the project, and will also allow you to better communicate how your project is either building on existing work and how it's different from what's already out there. And then we're really looking for a very clearly defined objective, specific and concise about your project. And then the target audience and market. Looking for information on who's going to benefit from this work. Is it applicable to the CII sector? Is it more targeted for residential water consumers? Looking to get some information here on the setting in which you expect your project will be implemented. And then cost estimation. So this can include the costs of materials, equipment, labor, anything you'll need to complete your project, but please be specific about where your costs are going. And then finally, a plan for how you're going to collect data and what types of analyses you're going to be conducting. You're going to need a really clear plan on how you're going to measure the water savings for your project. That is obviously sort of the crux of this funding. And so we're looking for projects with quantifiable savings. So the clearer you can be with how you plan on delivering that, the better. So the next category, project innovation, 20 points, 500-word maximum, describing how your project is new or innovative. So how is this device, strategy, or technology better or different than what's currently in or on the market? Discussion of the lifespan of the project and its reliability. And then this is the category where we are incentivizing CII applicable applications. So 5 points in this section will be allotted to the application's relevance to the CII sector. Market and impact potential for 25 points, 600 words. So here we're looking for answers to questions such as what audience will benefit from your project, where is the research, where is the project applicable, what is the market size for your project, and a description of the project's potential water savings in the context of market impact. Project preparedness, 20 points, 500 words. So this is where we're looking for the applicant's experiences, skills, and anything else that you feel is important to demonstrate how ready and how complete the proposed project is and how you're going to go about completing the project. And we're also looking here for how thoroughly the project is sort of shovel ready and how close it is to being on the market, or if it is already on the market. This is a great place to discuss that. And then also inclusion of any sort of preparatory work that has been completed to date. Community impact. This is our new category this year for 5 points, 250-word max. And so we're looking here for how your strategy, technology, or the company as a whole is working to positively impact communities that you serve, and demonstrated ways in which your work is responsive to social and economic concerns. Some possible examples of this could be pro bono work in underserved communities, specific focus on job training programs, an environmental education component, or maybe your project is doing work specifically in disadvantaged communities. This is a newer category, so we're really excited to see what comes of it and all the additional positive benefits that your work is yielding. So I'm not sure if Anaki is here yet. I think she was going to join around 10:25. Elise, do you know if she's on yet?
I haven't seen her yet.
Okay. So we will give her a few moments, but super excited that Anaki's going to join us and talk about her experience as an applicant and recipient from 2022. But while we wait, we can go ahead and start answering some questions if there are any in the chat, or the Q&A box rather. So if you have a question, please put it in the question and answer box, and then Priscilla will help us read those out, and then we will answer them.
So it doesn't look like there are any yet in there. Maybe we can maybe go back to the research plan slide.
Sure. I
And
know
we
that
could
was all information.
talk through a little bit of that while we're waiting for Anaki to show up. So
there is one question in the chat.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so is the evaluation criteria part of the application pages?
Criteria, part of the application pages?
So I think, is the criteria included on the application pages, on the application, I think? If that's displayed on there. That's what I believe the question is.
Yeah, so you'll go into, so on this web page, you will click on the apply here for the 2025 call for proposals. That'll open up an online application. And as you scroll through, so first will be like your sort of contact information about the project, the name, that sort of thing, those milestones and activities. And then subsequently, there will be each section that has like, the little description, and then the area that you can type in your answer. Does that answer the question?
I believe it does.
Thanks.
Yes, okay, we got a thank you. So, yes.
But sure, at least we can go back to research plan.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out. Let us know if there's any other questions, Priscilla, that come up.
Mhm.
Yeah, the only thing I would say here is that, if you by the time you are coming to apply for the Innovative Conservation Program, you've already done a literature review. We're not saying that a literature review is required. I think this is just to give you an idea of a rough suggested research plan. So we're not looking for these prescriptive items, but we have found in the past, talking about that a little bit in this forum, for maybe others who are really new to developing a research plan. So yeah, the key things for us are going to be um, identifying that target audience and the market. When Quinn referred to water savings, there will be, and it is described in the application, but there would be some extrapolation of your project, but also so for an example, let's say you are applying for I'm just going to use a past example, a device that goes into hotel rooms, and you can say, this is how much our project, we're planning to partner with 3 hotels. This is how much our project would save. But then when you look at the target audience in the market, you can also include in there research that you've done on how many hotels are, possibly in our service area. Very rough numbers, but those are the types of things that, so that you could then extrapolate out the potential savings for your device or strategy to a larger market. So those types of things. And again, like, for some types of projects, a more extensive literature review may be necessary, and that might be your step one. But also keep in mind that because the projects have to conclude by the end of June 2026, that you don't want to necessarily spend too much time on pre-implementation tasks. That's where the shovel ready and project preparedness comes in. And so those projects that may already have sites identified, or other partners already lined up, that those projects will be scored better on project preparedness. So hopefully that, just kind of gives a little bit more broad, um, just characterization. But for sure, the research plan will be developed by you, and there may be, if you have questions about that, you can definitely ask during the period that the application is open. Okay. Doesn't look like she's here yet.
We have another question that just came in. Oh, a
Fantastic.
couple. All right, so we are using AI to help with water conservation. We are building library of use cases. Do we have a market segment for customer self-read market, landscape irrigation management, budget demand supply forecasting, and design gamification? So this is a long one. There's an answer live button. I've never used. If I don't know if I can click that, if it'll display on screen. I can try that.
Oh, well, maybe we can just, I think what that is that you click that when we answer the question live
Okay.
instead of
Oh,
typing
got
the
it.
answer.
Oh, got it.
I would say that that would be for you to determine if I'm, if the to determine and identify those market segments.
Mm.
I'm not sure what the self-read market, what you're referring to there. I'm Yeah, maybe would need a little bit more clarification. Maybe we can Is there a way for the person to ask the question live? No.
I think are they
Oh,
able?
allowed to talk? Okay.
Yeah, I think you can unmute.
Amit, did you want to,
To
I'm not
clarify a
sure if
little
that
bit more on
answered
that
your
question?
question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hi, Elise. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much. This is great forum, and thanks, Elizabeth. I met her at CalVAP event, and she told me about this, so I'm really fortunate to attend this webinar. So my question is, so we have a cloud-based water customer engagement and analytics platform. We are helping few cities in Southern California. What I meant by customer self-read market is what we learned. We designed something for Irvine Ranch where landscapers take manual read every Monday because they don't have smart meters. So it's kind of an interim weekly AMI kind of thing where landscapers go take reads and do budgets for that week. So it keeps them on track. Bill don't go high. But the same module, we were able to give it to one rural water in Minnesota where customers were taking self reads. And believe me, like they are sending their reads in form of emails, pictures, phone calls to the billing department. So my question was, um, we have this module and we want to give it to more utilities who are rural. So do you know like which utilities in Southern California or anywhere else, like do they have this kind of customer self-read? Because that's very painful and yeah.
Yeah, and I think that would be the type of question that you would be answering in your review prior to determining whether or not there is market potential or value for agencies in Southern California. As the water wholesaler, yeah, we don't have that type of granular information necessarily about our agencies. We would know the ones that that have let us know that they are doing, for instance, if they have AMI or not. But I don't, yeah, so that would be definitely part of what the type of research you would need to do in preparation for your application.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your question.
Okay.
And then Quinn, I don't know if you want to take the other questions about past participants.
So I can't see the questions.
Oh,
Yeah, I can ask those questions for you.
okay.
Okay, so do you have a list of past participants who received a grant through ICP?
Yeah, so on our website, you can go to this page, mwdh2o.com/ICP, and we have the project reports from 2020 and 2022. So this isn't comprehensive per se, since the project has been going on for quite a few years, but these are the most recent funded projects. And if you have sort of like a specific question about an agency or an organization, you can email me and happy to, provide additional context if there's a more specific question that you have.
Okay, awesome. And then one more. What are the chances of a past participant receiving the award again, assuming the new proposal builds on the original water technology and offers additional water savings?
That's a good question. I'm going to punt this to Elise.
That is a great question. We've had a couple of applicants that have applied more than once and have received funding more than once. They were for quite different projects and looking at different types of technology. I can see that, and Priya, I know kind of what you're talking about in terms of like building on your last ICP. I think that if there are additional water savings that could be realized beyond what your previous project was, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to apply again. And really, it just kind of depends on the pool of projects and whether or not this addresses something that we've seen and could find beneficial. So definitely not precluded from applying again.
And those are the questions we have for now.
Is Aniki on the line?
Yes,
Yes.
she's here and on
Yeah.
camera.
Hi.
Hi, Aniki.
Thank you so much. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So yeah, I will hand it over to you, Aniki. Aniki Chamberlain is from Mimir Water, and she was, well, along with Mimir Water, was a 2022 ICP recipient, and she's going to talk about her experience as an applicant and as a recipient and her overall experience in partnership with MWD throughout the ICP process.
Yeah, well, first, Elise, it's nice to see you. I think I've talked to you a bunch, but it's great to see you too, Quinn. So thanks for all your help through the whole process. But yeah, my name's Aniki. My company's Mimir Water. I applied for the grant. Thought it was a very easy process, especially for as grants go. It was not a lot of cumbersome requirements. Basically, it just really helped me get a plan together and figure out what I wanted to do and where it would fit in the market. I had originally heard of the grant from somebody else who had done something on cooling towers, and then at WaterSmart Innovations spoke with some of the MWD folks and found out that it was going to be made available. Found the application process to be very easy. Was wonderful staff asking questions. Definitely answered all my questions. My project was on cooling towers, doing some sub-metering for efficiency instead of just water use. And that just basically came from my experience working with commercial properties and them getting kind of frustrated by people kind of chasing their tail with water use, right? Because they need water. So if you say, wow, you used a lot of water, they kind of are like, well, we need a lot of water. So this really helped them say, can I be efficient, right? So it's going to need the water that it needs. So the grant was truly just almost life-changing because it really helped me explore this that I was so interested in. It gave me the basically funds to develop the monitoring program and then go into facilities and say, hey, do you want to pilot this program? And they're like, what are you talking about? So the grant funding allowed me to say, well, let's pilot it. There's no charge to you. We'll get some case studies. And it was really successful. Pretty much every cooling tower that we metered, we found something wrong with. So building off a previous person's study, they had estimated about 2 acre-feet a year could be saved with mechanical failures per cooling tower and 1 acre-foot a year with operational failures. And I would agree for sure. Tons of water gets wasted in those. So since then, I've been able to take it into facilities and work actually with some other companies to help them expand the monitoring, refine a little bit for user friendliness. And yeah, like I said, it was just great working with the MWD team. I really enjoyed doing the report.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anki. Yeah, curious, I guess, if anyone from the audience has any questions for Aniki specifically.
I'm not seeing any questions for Aniki specifically. There was a question input just before she started speaking, kind of like a general question. So
Okay.
we can give it a few minutes maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and folks can reach out to me. My information is around. You can just Google me, or I'm sure that the grant folks will give it to you. But feel free to give me a call if you have any questions, or you just want to talk about cooling towers. I always like to do that.
Aniki, can you talk a little bit about where the sites were that you ended up engaging with during the project?
Yeah, that's one thing that I found really amazing about the grant is that it didn't have to necessarily be in California. So I was primarily based out of Spokane, Washington, Salt Lake City, and Phoenix, Arizona. And those were areas that I worked. I had customers. We were working on cooling towers. So it was, just great to be able to use them in areas that we had already engaged customers and people who were wanting to manage their cooling towers. So that was a very pleasant surprise.
And how did you, I know you mentioned building on some previous past work that had been done on cooling towers. How did you go about kind of estimating the market impact in Southern California in terms of, like kind of as knowing that, with the mechanical failures and the operational failures, but more so like looking at the market, and how did you kind of boil that down?
Basically from conversation, I've been in water efficiency for a handful of years now, and cooling towers is always coming up as sort of the white whale. We know they're around a lot. You have to engage with, facilities. It's difficult because the service provider comes once every 30 days. So there's just these, basically it was repeat conversations on managing cooling towers. And then when you start working with facilities, they also struggle with it, less in waste, but more in damage, not getting enough water. So basically it was like a double benefit. From our side, we want to reduce waste. From their side, they want to reduce damage. So the monitoring for efficiency would protect that. And there's so many cooling towers in Southern California, so many in Arizona. And once you get into them, that's one thing that was so crazy about the grant, was I just realized, oh my gosh, it's so much worse than I thought how they're managed. So when something's operated by mechanical equipment and human beings, it's destined for failure. And when it's only getting looked at every 30 days, then it fails for a very long period of time. So I think it was just being in the industry, listening to, having conversations with people, seeing struggles as water scarcity increases.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. It's great to see you.
Yeah,
And
you too.
So much.
it's very interesting. I just want to plug that when Aniki and Mimir submitted their final report for the Innovative Conservation Program, I was a little confused at first because it was just a link. But what was very cool is that her final report was actually a presentation about the sites that had been that she had been working with over the course of the research project, and it was just very innovative, and an innovative final report as well, on top of an innovative water management. So thank you so much.
I'm glad you liked it. As I started writing it, I was like, oh my God, nobody is going to stay awake through this. I reduced the pain for everybody and hopefully made it a little bit more clear.
And that is available on the ICP page on our website, under the 2020 projects, right? Was it 2020? 2022. Thank you.
I know. I was like, wow, that was so long ago. I can't believe it's 2025.
Yeah, there. Thank you, Quinn.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aniki. And yeah, if anyone's interested in getting in touch with her afterwards, please just let us know and we can share her contact information.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Take care. Okay, if we want to go back to, I know Priscilla said there was another question perhaps.
Yes. Okay. So have you ever pulled from past applications? Basically, if there wasn't enough funding in the past years, check in to see if the applicant is still interested in moving forward, similar to a wait list.
We have not done that before.
Yeah.
Usually because the project period is pretty quick in and of itself. So, but that's a good question, Justin.
So do you mean like if we select 5 and then one of them can't do it, do we have like a backup, or are we pulling from like, would we pull from 2022 being in 2025?
No, I think he was saying like if somebody is having we select somebody and they're not able, it just depends. I mean, yes, we do have, let's say we get 20 applicants, we only select 5. The second one can't participate after we've offered it to them. Yes, we would go to the next one on the list. But if they had already started the project and were 6 months, 7 months in, and they told us that they had to forfeit the funding, we wouldn't be able to go back to the list at that point.
All right. And then we have another question. Will the recording be available?
Yes. The recording will be posted on the same website, mwdh20/ICP. The link should be up there in, I would say, probably within the week. But in the interim, of course, feel free to email me with any questions. Happy to communicate via email as well.
All right, there are no other questions in the chat as of now, or in the Q&A.
Okay, wonderful. Well, happy to stay on a little bit if anybody has additional things that they want to chat about or any potentially more specific questions. This is my email address. Please feel free to get in touch if you have any questions. The applications are due April 30th at 1 p.m. And please remember to reach out ahead of time if you're having any sort of technical issues or application related questions. But thank you everyone for joining us this morning.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
I'll stop the recording.